After a brief delay due to computer problems, the JMSports Show is back on the air, and it is the Monday edition. Hello everybody, Jonathan Mosette here for JMSports 100 and JMSports Show. Now listen, I know that normally I try to keep my bias out of it, but tonight, that's not happening. Alright, so if you haven't heard, apparently I've been on Facebook, or you've lived under a rock. The replacement officials finally did the one thing everybody's waiting for them to do. They blew it. Big time. The Packers got hosed. 14-12. Now, I'm going to play Packer fan for a second. And I'm also going to play against the Packers for a second too, I guess. First of all, let's play Packer fan. Okay? Or regular NFL fan. The referees board. That's all there was to it. Basically, it was a Hail Mary. It was basically a jump ball, Hail Mary. You could easily see in the replay that the Packer came down with it. And it wasn't even simultaneous. Now, the NFL rule says that the catch is simultaneous. I believe possession goes to the receiver, but it was not simultaneous. The defender came down with it clearly. It should have been Packers' ball. Should have been an interception. They reviewed it. Should have, they reviewed it, and it was still a touchdown. Packers lost. At the same time, Packers should not have been in that spot to begin with. Aaron Rodgers got sacked 8 times in the game. Okay, that was uncalled for. It was stupid. They had stupid penalties. Speaking of the penalties, these referees that were doing this game are the same referees that did the controversial Washington New Orleans game last weekend. St. Louis game last weekend, pardon me. And they did the same thing, and they call everything. Listen, NFL, here is the deal. You've got to get your replacement officials back on the damn field. You've got to do it. You cannot let this continue to happen. If this were to happen in the Super Bowl this year, NFL's in big trouble. The NFL's in trouble as it is. If you go on Facebook, it's all over everywhere. You go on Twitter, it's all over everywhere. There's pictures, there's statuses, everything. Roger Goodell's email is sitting on Facebook. The number for NFL headquarters, which I will not give out, but the number at NFL headquarters is sitting on Facebook. People are saying, call tomorrow. Tell the NFL to man up and to pay their officials. And I think now, you've gotta. The NFL officials just got the regular officials just got all the leverage in the world after what happened today. The NFL officials are going to get what they want. I think it's about the only thing the NFL can do. Because it was blatantly blown. There's baseball games going on and stuff tonight, and I've had SportsCenter on since the game ended, and that's all they've talked about is the controversial play. And I wish there was a way I could show you the play legally. I can't. So I'm not going to. But it just, Packers got hosed. That's all there was to it. For those of you wondering where I was, that's all I'm going to say. Otherwise, I'm going to start to cuss and swear and hoot and holler because I'm not getting paid, so I don't really give a damn what I say, but I'm going to just leave it at that. Packers got hosed. It's something the NFL needs to look at. And it'll be interesting to see what they do. Oh, I do want to make one more comment about that. I know it's the NFL rule, but you've got to give the Packers a round of applause for manning up and coming out after getting off the field, after being hosed, and standing there while Seattle kicked a meaningless extra point. Okay, the extra point was just salt in the wound. It was not needed. I understand that it's the rule, but it's a stupid rule. So yeah, the Packers didn't defend it. They got in their stance. They stood up, let them kick it. They didn't rush or anything. But you got to give them a round of applause for just manning up, and you got to give them a round of applause for their integrity for just doing that. I'm not going to talk any baseball tonight, alright? Nobody else is, and I'm not going to either. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it. Where have I been? I had a virus on my computer. I had a rootkit virus on my computer. I did not lose anything, but I do not have the records updated. We had a really good week again in college football. The picks are on the JMSports Show Facebook page, NFL picks. I don't know what to do, guys. I picked, and I had the NFL picks recorded before my computer went down. I picked Atlanta to beat San Diego on the Facebook page. For whatever reason, I said San Diego. And so I don't know what I'm going to do there. If I should give myself a win or not. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk, believe it or not, there were other games in the NFL on Sunday and this week. Besides that. So let's talk about those a little bit, I guess, because the show must go on. So, let's do that and go from there. Basically, I think the referees get their way now. That's all there is to it. The referees get their way. All right, let's talk more NFL. Shall we? Let's basically go through a quick rundown of the rest of the games from a very interesting Week 3 in the NFL. The Giants beat Carolina. I already talked about that one. Chicago and St. Louis. I watched some of that game. Chicago played well. St. Louis did not. I guess, what more can you say? Buffalo and Cleveland, not much to say there. Buffalo's a better team than Cleveland. Dallas and Tampa Bay, Romo bounced back pretty well. The Cowboys just about blew it there. Tampa Bay got a touchdown late, but Dallas gets the win nonetheless. Tennessee and Detroit. Tennessee gets a 44-41 win in overtime. This game was back and forth. Tennessee dominated for a while, then Detroit kind of dominated for a while, and Tennessee split it out again, and Detroit marched back. Very controversial call with the new overtime rule. Tennessee kicked a field goal. Detroit got the ball back and were in field goal range. And instead of electing to kick a field goal, they went for it on 4th and 1. Did not get it, and Tennessee won the game. Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Andrew Luck played well in this game. I thought he showed signs where he was extremely brilliant. But Jacksonville came out late, got a touchdown, and got a win. Andrew Luck brought the Colts back down the field and just about got in the end zone, but fell short. Jets and Dolphins. I said that this was a game that the Jets needed to win. I said it in the preview that you guys didn't get to see. They did win it, but at a major cost. Darrelle Revis is out for the year with a torn ACL. That is going to be huge for the Jets down the stretch, especially with the toughness of their schedule that they have coming up. I also think the Tebow Sanchez thing isn't working. I saw some of the I usually watch 2 NFL games, 2 early games, 2 late games, and on another TV I had the NFL Red Zone. So I saw a little bit of the Jets-Dolphins game, and Mark Sanchez was getting into some good rhythms. at times. And then they brought Tebow in, and Tebow lost yards, and that's a momentum killer. It's a confidence killer for Sanchez and really for the team. Tebow thing, it's not working. Definitely the biggest upset, but not surprise. San Francisco losing 24-13 to Minnesota. What do you mean it wasn't a surprise? San Francisco's the best team in the league. You said it yourself. Yes. Yes, sir. Listen, I didn't think San Francisco was going to lose the game. I picked San Francisco. But I knew the game was going to be close. Because the Packers, the 49ers, were making their second trip from the West Coast to this side of the world for the second time in 3 weeks. Okay, that's huge. Travel is huge. Okay, Arizona didn't show it against New England last week, but travel is huge. So Minnesota gets the win there. Christian Ponder, I will admit, I whiffed. I said Christian Ponder wasn't going to be much. Christian Ponder has showed tremendous improvement over the last, this year, definitely, from his rookie year to this year. So he has showed tremendous improvement. Kansas City and New Orleans, that was my lock of the week. I lost 2 locks in a row. You know, what can you say? New Orleans is terrible. I don't think we're going to see him go 0-16. But New Orleans is terrible. You know, for those of you, once again, who don't think that coaching matters in the NFL, well, there you go. There was another example of it right there. Coaching matters a whole hell of a lot in the NFL. Cincinnati and Washington, RG3 almost pulled it off again. Cincinnati gets the 38-31 win. Arizona and Philadelphia. Kevin Cobb. You know, I said it all last year. I whiffed on him. I was going to be good in Arizona, then he wasn't. Said I whiffed. I think I whiffed about whiffing. Cobb looked good yesterday. I watched a lot of that game. He had a couple of touchdown passes and looked good. Philadelphia did not. More turnovers. Michael Vick continues to struggle. Listen, guys, Michael Vick, he gets so much credit that he doesn't deserve. He's not a good quarterback. He's flashy, but he's not good. 10 years in the league, he still doesn't get it. He still makes the same mistakes that a rookie makes. RG3 gets it. Andrew Luck gets it. Brandon Whedon kind of seems like he gets it compared to Michael Vick. Russell Wilson, for as much as I hate to admit it tonight, Russell Wilson gets it. And Michael Vick does not. Arizona gets the win. They're 3-0. Didn't think they were going to be that good. Impressed with them. Their defense is just great. Atlanta and San Diego, you know, like I predicted, Atlanta big. You know, I didn't write it down, 27-3. I get the win. Atlanta's good. San Diego is good, but not great. Oakland over Pittsburgh. It's hard to win on their own. Packers showed that tonight. Patriots showed that last night. We'll talk about that in a minute because, of course, you know, the big controversy surrounding that game. I want to talk about that. It's hard to win on the road, and the Raiders had a little bit of extra incentive after Darius Hayward-Bay was carted off the field and kept in the hospital overnight last night for what appears to be a concussion and a strained neck was what I had heard today. Which, by the way, that was a bad no call right there. I saw that hit. That hit was brutal on Darius Hayward-Bay yesterday from Ryan Mundy. Even Ryan. Raiders get a 34-31 win. Big win for them there at home in Black Hole. Houston and Denver, what can you say? Listen, Peyton Manning's going to get it eventually, but he's trying to click. The problem with the Broncos is they're clicking late in games, but they're not clicking early. And then they get in deficits. When they get in deficits, they can't come back. They almost came back yesterday, could not quite do it. Houston is good. Matt Schaub lost part of his ear in a horrific collision. Glad he's alright, but, you know, a lot of horrific collisions yesterday. A lot of controversy as well. Then we talk about the Sunday night game. Like we said, Denver almost came back 31-25. Houston gets the win. Houston's still undefeated. Houston, Arizona, and another undefeated team that's not clicking in my head like it should be. Atlanta. So Atlanta, Houston, the only undefeated teams in the NFL still. So only 3 undefeated teams left: Arizona, Atlanta, and Houston. Seattle and Green Bay. Baltimore and New England. Game was back and forth. Game was not horrifically officiated. There was 24 penalties, 14 for the Ravens and 10 for the Patriots. The big thing coming out of that game was Bill Belichick grabbing the official after the game. After the field goal was made late by Baltimore that won them the contest, the grabbing of the official, Bill Belichick said he meant no harm. Well, of course he didn't mean any harm, but the NFL specifically told you earlier in the week, told everybody, don't bully the officials. We're going to watch for it. You will get fined. I expect Jim Harbaugh to get fined this week. I also heard Kyle Shanahan is probably going to get a fine, the offensive coordinator for the Redskins. And then we know about that Bill Belichick will too. And he should. The Green Bay and Seattle game, one thing I do have to say is Seattle's defense is really good. Their corners are tremendous. They're fast. They're speedy. They hit you hard. Seattle's got a good defense. By the way, I do want to say one more thing about Baltimore. I got to give one more round of applause to Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Torrey Smith. For those of you who have not heard, at 2 o'clock yesterday morning, Torrey Smith received a phone call that his brother had been killed in a motorcycle accident. Torrey Smith then flew home to be with his family. It was unknown as to whether or not he was going to play yesterday. He flew back and arrived 3 hours before game time. Played the game, caught 2 touchdown passes. Good job for him. I do want to make one more comment about the NFL. And then we're going to call it a show. Like I said, no baseball tonight. I'll cover on baseball tomorrow. Plus, I'll get all the records updated and taken care of. And I'll make a mention of that in tomorrow's show, too. Tuesday edition. The NFL sits there and barks about player safety. We care! We care about the safety of the players. We really, really do! Do ya? On Thursday, the Baltimore Ravens play their 4th game in 19 days. What? We care about player safety. But you gotta play 4 games in 19 days. But we care about your safety. We really do. Yeah. Listen. No, you don't. We all know it. You don't care about the player safety. You don't care about any of this. The NFL wants their money. They get their money. It'll be interesting to see if the regular officials are back next week. I think they will be. I think with the NFL, you have no choice now. But like I said, to basically give in to the demands of the officials. You may not want to, but you don't really have a choice. Because if this happens again, listen, people are already up in arms. There are people that aren't even Packer fans that are just like, huh? I got people that are Seahawk fans. I got people that are Seahawk fans on Facebook tonight that are like, that win's a bitter one. It's a sour one. We got lucky. Yeah. There you go. That's all there is to it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this edition of the JMSports Show. I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your evening. I'm John Lozette for JMSports 100 and on behalf of the JMSports Show. More on this tomorrow and more. See you guys. Have a great night.